People, I'm standing here today wondering, when are you going to realize that the government in Washington, D.C. is no longer interested in two things: you, the American people, or the Constitution of the United States of America? By ignoring us, the American people, for their political parties and their political party gains, they are actually going against the Constitution of the United States because they are not representing you. When are you going to realize that our Constitution of the United States, written by our forefathers, is probably one of the most greatest miracles that were done on this earth? Look at how much space it is in. One sheet of paper, and then add the Bill of Rights to that, and there's the formation of the United States of America. And that shall not be changed, because if that is changed, the Constitution will no longer be what the Constitution is. Now, we have a government in Washington, D.C. that says they're sworn to uphold the Constitution, yet they are constantly going against the Constitution as it is written. And it must not be interpreted by a bunch of lawyers or law firm or organization like that. And I can give you a prime example why. Look what's going on in the Middle East. People killing people over different views of religion, different interpretations of one God. That's all it is, interpretations. Man's interpretations of one God. How many different books are written? How many different Bibles there are existing? But yet there is still only one God. Because man interprets. They decide to put their own words, their own ideas, their own feelings into their writings. Well, the same thing goes with our Constitution. Our forefathers had fears against a powerful central government, and they wanted to limit it. They wanted it to be a servant of the people, each and every one of us, not the people, the servant of the government. That's what they were under, the oppression of England. They were forced to be servants of the English government. They didn't want that. They didn't want a country where the people were servants of a country, of a government. They wanted people that were free to pursue their happiness, to do the best endeavor that they can do, and be guaranteed by the Constitution that they would have this. Promises made by the Constitution are very simple. They're right at the very beginning, in the preamble. I have told you, read the preamble. That is the promise. That is the reason for the whole Constitution. That is the very core of why the United States exists. And it must be maintained as it is written. You hear me say that all the time about the Constitution. The Constitution must be adhered to as it is written. Not the way we would like it to be written, not parts we would like, but the whole as a whole. They argue separation of church and state, but it's not in the Constitution. The Constitution says that the federal government cannot make any decisions whatsoever about church, prayer, or any other free exercise of. None. Look at the different countries in the world that make decisions about their religion and have their religion in the government. No, we do not. And we will not as long as I'm president. Yes, I will challenge anyone who tries to make a ruling. The first 10 amendments are the 10 commandments of our Constitution. The greatest fears our forefathers had of a central government is right there. Matter of fact, if you know your colonial history, you see all 10 of the amendments right there in the colonial history prior to the Revolution and the Declaration of Independence. These are the fears, and this is what the Constitution is to prevent, the government like we have today. You all must understand what I represent. I am not representing anybody other than you, you, the individual, and that the government shall uphold the Constitution as it is written, not the way we would like it to be written, not an interpretation by some think tank. Doesn't need that. But each and every American citizen, from the day you're born to the day you die, me, JD, as president, this is a solemn promise, will, in accordance with the Constitution, hold up every single right, privilege you are supposed to have. I will not tolerate for the change of the first 10 amendments, period. I will hold the government, both Congress, the Supreme Court, and everybody within, to adhere to the Constitution as it is written, not the way we would like the Constitution to be written. But above all else, I will give you, the American people, by dragging you up, your government back in your hands, or I will die trying. That is a solemn promise I will give to you. I will either deliver your federal government back into the hands of the American people in accordance with the Constitution of the United States as it is written, or I will die trying. So, either you will have a government that serves you, the people, or I'll be dead. Don't worry about it. I'm not. Together, we can do it, but only together. Our Constitution must be adhered to by the federal government as it is written, and no other way shall be tolerated. Wait till I do my first State of the Union message to Congress. They're not going to like it. So people, it's up to you to start realizing that our government is not serving you or the Constitution of the United States, but the self-interest of the Democrat and Republican and other political parties. The lobbyists have control. The rich are running our country, not the people. It needs to be changed. It needs to take a step backwards so we can go forward as a nation of one. All of us, over 300 million Americans, no matter how old you are or how young you are, no matter where your heritage comes from or if you developed your heritage. But each and every one of you are Americans, and you must realize it's your responsibility and my responsibility to see to it that our Constitution is adhered to by our government as it is written. That's the way it needs to be. Interpretations are no good, because anyone argues, well, this interpretation or that interpretation, you look at them and say, how many gods are there? There's one, right? How many different religions are there about that one God? And how many different Bibles are written about that one God? That's man's interpretation. Our Constitution cannot be interpreted. It must be adhered to as it is written. That's why we have states. That's why we have communities. That's why we have local governments. So that the Constitution can be a centralized government without dictating the country. But yet the people dictate to the government. Yes, it's different, I'm saying, but it's not. It is what our forefathers wanted, and we can do it. I will bring every one of your voices to Congress, even if I have to drag you by your heels. That's the second promise I made. And those are the only two promises I really give you. One, the Constitution will be. Our government will serve you, the people, or I will die trying. And two, Your voice will be heard in our federal government in Washington, D.C., even if I got to drag you up there by your heels. Sorry. That's it, people. You are the ones that matter to me. Not the federal government, not the congressmen, not the political parties. You are the ones. Look what happened to the Tea Party. The Tea Party today is nothing more than another way to spell Republican. So I cannot belong to any party, but I will not turn the endorsement away from any party. Any party who wishes to endorse me and support me, I will accept. But understand, it's the people within your party that I'm going to represent, each and every one of them, not the political party. I cannot and will not do such a thing to our people of this country and the Constitution of the United States of America. For that is a solemn promise I will keep. The Constitution of the United States of America shall be enforced as it is written. I will not tolerate anything else. And each and every person shall be my boss in this country. And their voice shall be heard. And Congress shall serve the people of the United States of America, not the world, not New World Order, not any other special group, but only the people of the United States of America and their best interests. And that's where I'm coming from. So, people, you have to start realizing the federal government is not serving you, the people, or adhering to the Constitution of the United States of America. There's too many examples of that breakaway. Interpretation, then just look at the different religions we got. We got Hinduism, we got Buddha, we got Muslim, we got Christian, we could go on and on and on. I could name them hundreds for one God. Think about that. So, people, you decide. If you agree with me, then start supporting me, start helping me, start spreading the word out there so people know we mean business. If you disagree, let's talk. I'm ready to listen because it's your voice I want to bring, not mine, yours. So you have to start working to help put the Constitution back into the federal government and, well, not to help put, but to force the Constitution into the federal government and for the federal government to serve you. For you people, the American citizen is not a servant of the American government. Thank you. This is JD.